Ladies and gentlemen, Madam President-elect, I am extremely grateful having been invited again, and I must admit, having heard so much about heinous crimes, it touches me immediately to hear what you had to say about your own fate. It is like evidence given in a courtroom, and this is one part of what we all need. We need to come as close as possible to the truth and then react correspondingly, because there is no justice without truth, and there is no peace without justice. So therefore, my core aspect today is the question of the future of the justice in Iran. We have to overcome the system of the leaders of the mullahs. There seems to be one alternative. An American clown called Son of the Shah raised his voice and apparently really wanted to become president of Iran in the future. But I'm pretty sure the Iranian people are intelligent enough to simply ignore this. But there must be a way out. And there is no doubt a way out. And this has been shown more and more by our president, Madame Rajavi. And I'm extremely grateful for paving the way to a better future of Iran. Today, many speakers and also you came to the 10 points. It's a wonderful assembly of that what a government can pursue when having overthrown a regime. And that's the question I shall answer. Can we do this? But first of all, I think it has, from the judicial point of view, and I have seen this, unfortunately, how less attraction is given to international law in other countries. But I have rarely seen a country like Iran with the mullah system where the international norms are ignored. It's not only about death penalty, I have to come back, but I'm extremely grateful that you mentioned today also the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, in particular Article 9 and 14. They are enshrined in your 10 points, and it is that important because it shows, on the one hand, what is the must, that each accused person is entitled to have a lawyer, is entitled to have access to the evidence, and to have a fair hearing. Is it a fair hearing if a person is heard within 5 minutes without advocate, without the entitlement of the family being present to give testimony? No, it's not. But apparently it's a reality of the now existing Iran. And therefore we have to fight against these shortcomings. Iran is bound and has always been bound by this norm of international law. But let me come back to death penalty. It's for me one of the most important points. When I was young and decided where shall be my way in the career, when starting as a young prosecutor, I promised my parents I will never work in a judiciary where there is death penalty. Why? Because it is not for us as human beings to decide over the life of others. And therefore, I want to emphasize, yes, from your point of view, the main aspect is the death penalty brought against political prisoners. But what I want to emphasize in this context, the death penalty must be abolished under all circumstances. In the framework of the Council of Europe, we have a specific convention, abolishment of the death penalty under all circumstances. And this is very important. Also, when there is waging war, there shall never be a death penalty. And a certain aspect is that it was found also by the judiciary in Germany dealing with crimes committed in the former Eastern Germany, GDR, that a judge who, against his own factual findings, simply ordered by the government, imposes the death penalty, that he commits the crime of killing. It's irrelevant that there is a judge in between acting as a puppet on a string, but what is done there amounts to, in Iran at present, amounts to killing in the closest sense. And we have to take care that the rule of law, including all the international law, is and becomes an unalienable part of a democratic states. 3 columns of a democratic states should be observed and upheld. That's the legislative, the executive, and an independent judiciary. And we have learned, and particular, maybe it's my mistake, in particular since 2020, that the judiciary in no way functions in Iran. So therefore, there are reasons enough, and we heard about many facts today to clearly say, yes, this is a fake government, this is a failed state. Does not mean the citizens, of course, but those being the leaders of the state. The word said, no peace without justice, establish not only the individual case that you, of course, can't make immediate peace when there is no justice, but it's also the peace for the future, that in the future people are aware that the independent judge or the independent judges, not only the judiciary, has to be created and has to be established. as soon as possible, because each day we wait, one person or more are killed by so-called judges, giving the order to execute. How shall we overcome? We shall, of course, overcome. We could do it by simply leaving it what it is, continue with the existing system. This would be absolutely no solution. We heard evidence enough today. I think we should forget immediately the American clown and come back. What is the way? I would call it the third way to a future. That's resistance inside and outside Iran. If possible, and only on request of this, supported by international supporters or even judges. That depends on the concrete situation. This demands, of course, that all oppositional groups, inside and outside, come together. Only united you will win, and you will not alone, bilateral as we say, but it will be the creation of a new future for the entire people of the Democratic Republic of Iran. Coming back to what Mark Ellis had said, I can fully subscribe to his words about the principle of universality, and I share his views. But we have to take into account that at present there is a kind of fatigue in relation to international courts. We can see that it will not function with the ICC, where the United Nations play a major role, and only one vote of veto power is enough to stop the exercise. And it's similar that it will be extremely difficult within the EU. The last time I spoke already about the possibility to bring together judges in a common court, say in the framework of the Council of Europe. Give you the example. We are hearing at present one case based nearly on the same facts in France and in Germany, parallel, double workload. Why can't we come together, establishing a common court, a new exercise showing the amitié franco-allemande? There is hope. There are many ways to come to a solution, but we have to come as soon as possible to this. The current regime must be overthrown as soon as possible, but in a fair way, and finding, and I think it's really in the best hand here, that we one day during our lifetime still can speak about fair trials in Iran. I thank you very much.